Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up?
This, right. Yeah, let's go. It's gonna be
You're good to
terrible.
go?
I think so. Well, I've gone.
It's all about the positive vibes. Alright.
Hmm. Oh boy.
Alright. So this is Spyro 2 100%. Right at the start you get thrown into Glimmer, and around the first 5 seconds there's already some tech. So the first thing he did was jump up the stairs and do a thing called a Spyrothon, and basically that's just like something we abuse where we charge and jump along a wall to gain a bit of height. So use that to just jump around that corner really quickly. And now during this lamps challenge, he's going to be doing another piece of tech called flame charge jumping, where you flame and then charge and then jump, hence the name. And you can use that to hit the lamps unintentionally. And so yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff going on in Glimmer. One of the craziest levels in the game. And basically you're supposed to be using a power-up to hit these lamps, but we can just use this tech to hit every single lamp in this entire level. So that's the first challenge out of the way already. And up next, he's going into the cave lamps. And usually for cave lamps, playing casually, you'd need to use the climb ability to be able to get up to the power-up to use to hit all the lamps. But luckily, we can use the same bits of tech, like flame charge jumping, and now double jumping too, which I'll get to later, just to hit all these lamps. And as he's going along, hitting all these lamps, he's also completing a different challenge, which involves hitting 6 lizards throughout the level. But to start that challenge, he had to get to the end of the level, so that's why he out of bounds to the end of the level first. So yeah, it's a crazy route, but it all just happens to work out. So yeah, that's 2 orbs down out of the 3 in the level. And now, this is basically just like the cleanup phase of the level, where he gets everything he didn't get at the start of the level, and he finishes up the Lizards challenge. So to hit this 5th lizard, he used what's called a double jump, which is kind of a weird name for it because you don't actually jump twice, but you abuse how the charging momentum works, and you use that to charge upwards to get a lot of extra height, and we use that throughout the run in many different ways. But you'll be seeing that a lot. So yeah, crazy level, but he's gotten everything in the level. Now he's just gonna double jump back onto the out of bounds hills and jump straight to the end of the level to grab the talisman.
Yeah, you can't actually exit the level through the menu, which we'll be doing in pretty much every level. So this one you have to come back here, which kind of sucks. But yeah, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that was good.
That's probably sub 3, I imagine. At least with normal timing. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Actually, probably not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was good though. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it was good enough. I'm gonna get that live as well.
Yeah. So basically, the goal of the route of this category is to get to the end of the game as quickly as possible, while also picking up a few gems throughout the way. So basically, he 100% Glimmer, so he doesn't have to go back there. And then we won't be doing any other levels until like 15 or so minutes into the game, and we'll be doing like one of the later levels there. And we get to the end of the game for a few reasons that we'll get to as we get there. But right now, he's just getting enough gems to buy the swim power up from Moneybats right here.
Okay. When you jump in the water, you can use the D-pad to move around.
And that'll let us go underwater, obviously, but it'll also let us do a few tricks later in Winter Tundra. But yeah, so basically this right now, he's just cleaning up a few gems that are better to get now than later, and he's just gonna go straight into the first boss of the game. And so this skip just involves hitting a button under a door and then jumping out of bounds straight into the into the crush portal here.
Before you get to the castle dungeon.
Yeah. So pretty much all the loading zones are starred out of bounds, so if you can access them, you can usually get into any level early.
Yeah.
And same with the bosses.
Yeah, most of the levels we can get out of bounds pretty easily using the double jump. So right here in this boss, we use a lot of manipulation to pick where he goes. So first we just flame him, like normally. But then on the second hit, we jump up to the side of the arena, and jump straight into the lava as he's about to attack. And what that does is makes him move, but we can manipulate like the timing to make sure that he stays on that platform. And so we're able to take 3 hits with Sparks. Sparks is your hit point counter in this game. You have gold, blue, and green, and then none. Right now he's at none because he's already damaged himself 3 times to do that manipulation of crush. And so they'll drop fodder into the arena to let you get your Sparks back. And Sparks does a whole lot for you, so you definitely don't want to be on 0 Sparks at all in this category.
Yeah.
He picks up gems for you.
Yeah. If you leave Crush on no Sparks, it actually sucks because there's another swimming section immediately after. And getting the gems in there without Sparks is painful because turning around while swimming is awful, so.
Yeah. And Sparks is going to get, like, seriously buffed later in the run because he gets very good range once we do more in the later boss.
Wow.
So right here's another trick. We call it ground to portal because you go from the ground to the portal, obviously. And that involves a bit of a wall glide. Wall gliding is basically a little bit like Spyrothon, which you saw a little bit of in Glimmer. But basically, as you glide along a wall, you can gain extra height if you're going at a specific angle. So you can use that to get up to the portal, which avoids having to go near Zephyr and then jump on the wall and run all around. And then after that, he double jumped and flopped onto a ledge and jumped around a bit more to skip by and climb and get up to the roof right here. And basically flopping is like you let go of square as you try and go up a ledge, and he'll go into a different animation that'll allow him to gain a bit of height on that ledge.
Yeah, I was going to say, this area you're not supposed to be able to get to until you buy climb and run through the entire level. It's basically as far in as you can get from the start.
Yeah. And so, since he, like, got up here in a strange way, there's a cracked wall right here that you're supposed to break and go up to that area through. But he went to it backwards. So right now, he's behind the cracked wall, which you should never be able to do. And what he's doing right here, he's setting up a specific angle where he can clip into the ground and then do a charge glide and charge straight out of bounds into the gulp portal. And a charge glide is basically just charging and gliding as you jump up. So that allows him to get out of bounds and straight into gulp, which is a very complicated step, but he did it really cleanly and really quickly, so that's good. So in the gulp fight, there's a lot of RNG, which is basically just randomness in the game. And so there's RNG placements on these eggs, and there's also RNG items in each egg after the third phase of the fight. So hopefully he'll get some good RNG here, because you can get you can get really screwed over just by RNG in this fight. But it's also a lot of skill involved in this fight.
Yeah, for sure. Even though there is RNG, a lot of people seem to underestimate the execution required.
Yeah, definitely.
There's other RNG sections in this game which... Wow. Yeah, that there shows your RNG. You can't get to a double hit with a bomb, or with 2 bombs. And then I got a despawn, which can happen as well.
Yeah, sometimes those birds holding the heads despawn randomly, and it's really not good. That's completely out of your control, as far as we know anyway. But yeah, so the goal of this fight is to set up double hits on Gulp pretty much the whole fight. Sometimes you can set up triple hits, but they're very rare to get. And yeah, you can get a bomb barrel double, a bomb rocket double, a barrel barrel double, rocket rocket double, but you can't get a bomb bomb double. So if you get triple bombs or like 2 bombs in a despawn, you just can't get a double. Also, if you take hits and go down to green sparks, then the eggs might start dropping chickens, which obviously you can't get hits off of those. So you definitely want to avoid taking damage in this fight as much as possible. And also Gulp can eat the chickens to regain health, so that's not good. Oh, that was not good.
Yeah. So,
That wasn't a
this
bad
isn't
Gulp
terrible.
though.
It
Yeah.
isn't terrible. I mean, I've had far better, but it's Gulp, what can you do?
Yeah, no big deal.
Probably my second least favourite part of this game.
Yeah, we'll get to the worst soon.
Yeah, you'll know what the first one is when we get there. Should have paused. No, Saboom. I refuse.
Yeah, so we're around 10 minutes into the run, and we're already in the last homeworld. And what we're gonna do here, he went for a proxy, which is basically just sticking your hitbox into somewhere where it shouldn't be, and it'll shoot you out. But he kind of messed it up a little bit, unfortunately. But it's not a huge time loss.
I pressed X slightly too early, so I got no height.
But the backup for that is to just double jump straight over the wall and to skip the head bash power up, which is pretty easy, honestly. You can do it without even double jumping. But right here, he's going into an out of bounds portal, the Dragon Shores portal, which is basically the reward for beating Ripto usually. And you're not even supposed to be able to get into the park at all until you have like 55 orbs and 8,000 gems, something like that. But using double jump and Spyrothon, he can just go straight out into the water, the out of bounds water, and then jump into the 100% reward for the entire game. So now he has Fireball infinitely wherever he needs to go.
Yeah, this is the main reason we go straight to the end of the game, because it just saves so much time.
There's 2 main reasons we do that. One is to get that Fireball, and the other is coming up soon. We're going to go straight into the final boss, which is Ripto. And to do that, since we don't have 40 orbs, we can't open the door. So what it's going to do here is charge into the out-of-bounds plane of water and get a swim in air. And basically, you just charge into the water outside of, you charge into an out-of-bounds portion of water, and it'll give you swim state even though you're not actually in water.
Spyro.
So now he's in the final boss, and he has Fireball, which completely breaks this final boss. Usually you'd have to like pick up 3 kinds of orbs and then shoot them for like 2 seconds when you get a power-up. And it's just a whole ordeal. But with Fireball you can just spam circle. And what you can do here is you can set up early hits by aiming fireballs where Ripto is going to be in the next phase. And you got that one right there. But to skip the cutscenes, for a lot of these cutscenes in this game, you have to press start. And start is also the pause button, obviously, so it's very easy to accidentally pause in this game. It's really frustrating when you're doing a run, because obviously you want to go fast.
That wasn't too bad, I guess.
Yeah, not bad at all. So yeah, we have completed the final boss, and now, since we did that before picking up all the gems, Sparks is going to have a few new abilities. So he will always point to gems without you having to hold the shoulder buttons. And he will also have extended range, which is a lot larger than you'd think it would be. He can pick up gems from much further away, and it saves a lot of time throughout the run. So now, since he's gotten Fireball and he's gotten early Ripto Sparks range, he's just going to be going to every level, cleaning out the level, and then cleaning up the homeworlds as he goes. And so we're going into the first level of Winter Tundra, which is Robotica Farms, which is also a pretty difficult level because there's an enemy route, because you need the supercharge power-up near the end of the level to complete one of the challenges, and it also uses it to speed up a bit of movement. So you need to get at least 15 enemies throughout the level, and sometimes these bugs can be hard to hit. So it's a little bit of a hard level, and there's a lot of hard tech in it, but I'm sure we'll see a good performance.
No, it's not looking good.
My field.
Yeah, this level is really hard though. It's probably, I'd say it's the hardest one in some world. Everyone else will say Mystic Mash, but
Yeah, I kind of agree that this is the hardest one, honestly. But yeah, as you could see with that other challenge, Fireball kind of breaks like a lot of the challenges in this game, because with Flame you'd have to get super close to those bugs, but in this you can just Fireball from ages away. Yeah, he's at 14 enemies right now, so he just needs one more, and he'll be good for using the power-up.
wow.
Wait up.
Also, this is an introduction of a thing called a mystery jar. And a mystery jar is basically, it's usually put at the end of a level, and you have to hit them as they appear throughout the level. And usually will take you back to the start. So we kind of use that to clean up a few of the other areas of the level as we get the mystery jar completion.
I think I have 15 enemies.
Yeah, you do.
Good. I wasn't sure if I killed one. I felt like I did, but
Yeah, so we're going to be using the supercharge power-up right here to clear out the majority of this this challenge, and also pick up a few extra gems. And right now, he's going to clean up this section at the start and get the last mystery jar, and then he's going to be able to hit the last pumpkin just with a fireball, so he doesn't need to use supercharge to hit it. Because for whatever reason, you can use fireball to hit the pumpkins that you need to hit for the challenge, but you can't hit the walls. So you need to supercharge through the walls, but you can snipe this pumpkin with the fireball right here. And then at the end here, it's just going to use the supercharge to clean up the rest of the level. For whatever reason in this game, unlike Spyro 1, when you supercharge through a vase or a basket, it doesn't home in. So the vases and the baskets on the track he originally hit, they didn't home in, and then on the second pass through, he picked them up. That wasn't too bad of a level. I would say that's the hardest level in this home run. But I don't know, I'm pretty bad at Cloud Temples too.
no, Cloud's easy. I'm gonna regret saying that. Play this a bit safe.
So right here, he's going to do a similar thing he did in Dragon Shores, where he jumps out of bounds and charges down under the portal to enter it early. Because you need, I think, 25 orbs to enter Metropolis, but you can just enter it from out of bounds, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
So in this level, right when you start moving, the UFO cycles begin to move. So he needs to play pretty well to have a somewhat consistent cycle, but usually they're consistent through the whole game.
Yeah, you can manipulate them a little bit, and when you go to the Ox challenge, so you can kind of slow them down if you play more aggressive up on the Ox. But
yeah, we tried to figure out how they work, but it's still a little strange.
yeah, we have no idea.
Also, something extra with the fireball I haven't explained really is when you glide, if you glide like quickly after a charge jump, you can kind of angle Spyro's head upwards so you can shoot a fireball in a certain direction upwards. So you can use that to snipe things early or snipe things through floors sometimes. So you'll be seeing that a lot, just having him try and snipe things early by using the fireball's range. Like in this challenge, he can use the fireball's range to hit that UFO early, that first one. And then he's gonna snipe a few of these balloons down, hit the second UFO, and then just try and clear out some of these gems. And he passes that third UFO to pick up a few more gems before finishing this first part of the challenge. It just works out better for the route.
Ah. Excellent work. I knew.
Nice. Actually did something which I can never do.
Yeah, right there. He could just snipe the UFO early, just because of the fireball's like really long range. Fireballs don't go on forever. They do have like a stopping point where they just like explode, and you can't really use that too well. But most of the time, things in range you can hit from pretty far away.
Nice flying.
Yep. So during all that, he was picking up specific gems. So now he just has like a little bit of a cleanup phase where he just picks up these last few, goes down to this portion of the level he skipped earlier, picks up the last few 1 gems.
It was a very good final room.
Yeah, that was.
That's probably one of the best I've ever done that.
Yeah, those UFO strats aren't too easy. Or at least I don't think.
Yeah, pretty much nobody does them. It's sad.
So up here, he's using another flop, which I explained earlier for climb skip. He's gonna come down here into Canyon Speedway. Also, I forgot to mention, another side effect of beating Ripto early is that every Moneybags instance is now gone. It's all paid for. So you don't have to worry about, like, paying Moneybags. Obviously, we're gonna have enough gems, because this is 100%, but still saves time to not have to talk to him most of the time.
Yeah, there's just a few like Aquaria and Shady where they kind of play a little cutscene when you buy them, which wastes quite a bunch of time.
Yeah. So this is the first speedway we've been to, I think, and it's basically the routing is trying to go as quickly as possible. We're not going to go in order or anything, and a lot of them are cycle dependent. Like these vultures are going in a set circle, but sometimes it's easier to hit them when they're in certain spots.
Oh my god.
And the tractors
Stop watching.
have a cycle. Yeah, these vultures are not too easy to hit.
It's terrible.
Come on, positive vibes.
Can't do it.
All right. Okay.
This is the fun part of the game.
Yeah, this is the first real auto-scroller of the game, I'd say.
Yeah, there isn't many, I don't think.
Yeah, this is around like a minute-long auto-scroller, where you just hold circle and pick all the balloons. I tend to fail this a lot just because I like to mess around during it, but it's not something you should... Yeah, I like to play the final countdown by pressing the circle button, you know. Sometimes it doesn't really work out too well. Especially when you stop focusing on like aiming at the balloons. So, yeah.
Yeah, you really shouldn't fail this.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
There's one little thing you can do at the end. You can kind of hit one of the blimps slightly early, which saves frames.
Yeah, it's not really...
Normally it would be the last one, but you kind of get the last two right at the same time anyway.
It's not really too important, but it's kind of swag, so might as well, you know.
Yeah.
And it saves frames, yeah. So next up, we're going to be going to one of the more difficult levels of Winter Tundra. I don't mind it too much anymore, but it is pretty complicated, and the route is kind of confusing, just because of one of the challenges. So we'll see how that all goes. Right here, you can charge jump up all the stairs without like stopping, as long as you have like specific angles. And then these rocks, for whatever reason, you can't fireball them, so you have to head bash them, which takes a bit of time, but it's the only option you have. So right at the start, he turns straight around and gets some of these gems in this area. And he's gonna go and jump straight to the professor to start the trading side quest challenge. So he starts off with this egg, and he has to carry it up to the nest near the top of the level. But he also has some gems he needs to get. Spitting out the egg, new strat there.
Have you not seen that?
No. So he needs to jump up to the top of the level, and he can like do some flops and wall glides up to the top to get here a bit earlier. In casual play, you'd have to get 20 enemies and use a spring power up to get up here, but luckily we can just double jump up here. And so during this trading side quest, he also starts the thieves side quest, where you have to shoot 4 thieves. And normally with Flame, you'd have to actually like, chase him around, but with Fireball, you can hit him from pretty long ranges. So what he did there was he hit 2 of them at once, then picked up the egg, and then talked to the end of level orb guy. So that allowed him to skip the cutscene for one of the for hitting the thieves, because they have a pretty drawn-out cutscene where the light, I guess. I don't really know what they're stealing, but
Spark.
yeah. So they there's a long animation, but if you press start to skip it, then you'll pause the game, but you'll skip the cutscene. But since he talks to the end of level guy, it skips both cutscenes that start from hitting both the thieves without pausing, which is really good. It works out really well. Yeah, so as he's going, he's just shooting the side quests, the trading items into their specific areas. Like that duck needs to go in that pond to spit out the turnip here. So this route is just like all over the place, but it all makes sense if you just know exactly what is needed. So right here, he's at the last thief. So he needs to hit it with a fireball and spit out the turnip, but as he's waiting for the fireballs to hit him, he picks up the turnip again to get him teleported back up here. And the turnip needs to go up here, so it all just works out. Now he's just clearing out a few of these extra areas while getting to the turnip.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this turnip can be a bit weird to get into the cauldron here, but usually it's not too much of a problem. And now the coin. The coin is pretty notorious among some speedrunners for getting stuck in places, but as long as you don't spit it into a wall, you won't have to really worry about that. Yep, so now we're at the end of the level, right as he finishes the trading side quest. So it's a really cool route. It's just all over the place, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually really, really clean.
Yeah,
all
that
things
was.
considered. There's a few silly things, but most of the time save tricks I got, so...
Yeah. So right there, you just unlock Cloud Temples just by talking to the professor, because we have enough orbs at this point. The requirement's only 15, we have more than that. And so this level is pretty linear for the start, but by the end there's some more interesting stuff. So he's just kind of running along, getting all the gems, clearing out these areas. These enemies, for whatever reason, seem to have like really large hitboxes, and they like to charge at you, so the enemies can be kind of annoying in this level, but it's not too big of a deal. Also, when you're near these warlocks, we can jump around a few of them, but if you don't kill them, sometimes your camera can get stuck in like a weird state. So hopefully we'll avoid that, but To me, it seems a bit random, but as long as you go in like specific paths, you don't have too much of a problem here. So right here, he tries to go for bell snipes, which are basically angling Spyro in a certain way, and then fireballing to make sure that he hits the bells. But it's pretty precise. You have to like time it really well to do it, so it's a bit hard. But
Had to go for the third one to avenge myself.
yeah. The third one's not too bad.
I think it's the hardest one, personally.
I think the first two are harder. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm usually pretty good at them, especially the second one. But...
Yeah, the second one's not too bad. The first one's definitely the hardest.
yeah, probably.
So, right here,
Oh.
the end of level orb, you can activate it, or you can activate like a cutscene by killing the last warlock. And so basically, as he kills the last warlock, he's gonna talk to Agent Zero to start the challenge, and then he's gonna get closer to the warlock to finish the cutscene playing. So he's gonna get the end of level orb during the Agent Zero challenge. Because at the start of the Agent Zero challenge, it's pretty like tame. You don't really need to pick anything up, but it is a bit tight once you finish the end of level orb. So as he's going along in this challenge, he can't touch or fireball Agent Zero, and he needs to stay within a reasonable distance to him. And so what he's going to do here is fireball that head bash crate early, pick up a few of these gems, and then hopefully not get caught by Agent Zero.
What?
So that was a pretty clean call of temples.
Yeah, apart from the bell snipes.
Yeah.
We bonked a few enemies as well, but good enough.
Yeah, not too bad. So that is all the levels in Winter Tundra completed. And since we beat Ripto already,
Oh, wow.
we won't need to come back at all to Winter Tundra. So hopefully we'll see the Winter Tundra complete come up right here, and we'll be all good. So now we're on to a set of 2 levels that most of the runners don't really tend to like. First one is Colossus, which isn't too bad, but it can still be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, this is the reset point in the
Yeah.
category for top runners.
Which is
It's
pretty
actually
unfortunate
miserable.
because it's 30 minutes in. So it's
Yeah.
kind of not fun to get a really good run up here and then lose it to these levels, but hey, there's nothing you can really do about it. So Colossus, I think it's one of the coolest levels except for one of the challenges in it, which we'll get to, but
Do we have
I
to?
think the route is pretty cool. You can do a 62 orb run, skip hockey.
It sounds good to me.
Yep, so right here, he double jumps up to this area with the rocket. Obviously, we don't really need to hit the rocket, because you can break strong chests with Fireball, but
Oh, thank
it doesn't matter too much. But we hit the rocket early, just to avoid having to wait for the gems to come out of the strong chest. Saves a bit of time. And what he tried to do here was hit the gems hit these 2 baskets right here through the wall, but he couldn't quite get it. You have to do it in a pretty specific way where you charge as you fireball the wall to make them home in, but it's not too big of a deal. So right here's another wall glide to get up to these gems. And he's basically running right now through this challenge, hitting the spirit statues, and also picking up gems, obviously. And now he's in the tally room, which has a quick cutscene. And he's gonna go straight to the next challenge, which is hockey, which is one of the most infamous challenges in this game, especially for speedrunners.
Thought I missed the gem. Yeah, this level's been really sloppy so far.
Yeah, hopefully hockey goes well.
Yeah, this is quite a difficult level to execute as well. A lot of people seem to have trouble with it.
Yeah,
Quite
definitely.
often, hockey kind of gets the blame.
Ah,
Which isn't always the
you
case,
have
but-
2 minutes to score
Hockey's
5
usually to blame,
goals
though.
in the red goal.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the tech here is to try and angle yourself in a specific way to make the goalie who hits the puck back into the other goal hit it towards you so you can shoot it in early, which is what we call a quick shot. And there's 5 shots in Hockey 1. And usually 2 to 3 is pretty good. It's rare to see 4 or 5, but Drashed has gotten 2 so far. Hopefully he gets more. 2 is not bad at all, though, honestly. At least to me. I'm not sure what your standards are these days.
Like 2 or 3, I can accept.
Yeah.
If I get less, I'm losing time in my runs.
Even though it should seem consistent, because you'd think you just do the same inputs every time, the speed of the puck as the guy shoots it over to the goalie seems to be RNG. I'm not sure if it actually is, but it's just
Yeah,
a really
there's
complicated
something
challenge.
funky going on
Yeah.
that removes consistency.
Plenty of people have tried to figure out like consistent setups for quick shots, but it just doesn't seem to happen. Hockey
Yeah, you
2
think
is
you
a
have
bit.
something, and then you don't. It works for
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a placebo effect. You just like really think you got it down, and then you get 0 quick shots in a run. Hockey 2 is generally more consistent, though. It is a bit random whether he hits the puck forwards or backwards. Usually forwards is faster, but backwards isn't too much of a problem.
If you get that, backwards is actually fast. What I just happened to
Yeah.
the 4th shot. So
Yeah,
I'm probably a bit ahead of the game, like my voice, but
yeah. It's not too bad, though. It's mainly Hockey 1 that everyone hates, but Hockey 2 can
Yeah.
also be bad sometimes.
Well
It's right here. There's another sloped wall, so that means we can Spyrothon up to this ledge up here and hit the spirit statue and collect all these gems up here. And now he's gonna come down to that strong chest we hit earlier with the rocket, and then just clear out the rest of the spirit statues.
oh no.
Oh no, please don't tell me.
Oh,
Oh no.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I've never missed that one. Usually it's one of the
Wow.
greens that you miss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not too bad to back up. It's just a bit slow.
Yeah. So basically we try and clear out that whole area as we're finishing the spirit statues, but Josh accidentally went
I'm gonna-
past one of the gems, so he's gonna have to go back for it later.
Slightly.
Yeah. This is not our normal ending, but it's not too different.
That's a flop. Okay. I'm learning things.
Oh no. We can
Okay, I
just
guess
out
you
of
can
bounds
see
straight
it.
to the...
Yeah.
So this is more of a 40 orb out of bounds, but we're gonna do it now.
Well, that was miserable, but yeah.
It's the first
It
like
is
major
one of the
mistake of
worst
the run.
levels, probably.
Yeah. Alright, so this is probably the worst level in the game coming up, just because of one specific challenge. But hopefully it goes well. It's complete RNG. You have no control over this one.
I
So-
hate this level.
Yeah, Drash seems to
Level's
get really
miserable.
bad luck here.
Yeah, you can lose over a minute for absolutely nothing. And it's like with hockey, you're kind of doing things. So you're interacting with the game. With this, you just kind of stood there. There's time ticking away and you're not actually doing anything. So
Yeah.
it just feels so much worse to lose time to.
Yeah. Like, I've done 2 runs recently, and they've both lost like 40 seconds to this challenge just because of RNG, so it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, when I was going for a 136, I was consistently losing a minute to my best seg. Just because of fish. And that's no exaggeration in like a minute.
Yep, so this first part of the challenge isn't too bad. You just jump on the 4 corners of the puzzle, which is such a simple solution to what you think it would be. But then up next, you jump down into the water and come back up, and that's the idol near the start. And this is where it gets bad. So,
What?
it's, Did you really just do that?
I did it on purpose though, because it was the first one.
So basically, there's 3 types of fish that can jump up: bluefish, yellowfish, and redfish. And if you shoot a redfish into his mouth, he'll spit out previous fish that you put into his mouth. Come on. Yeah, so this is complete RNG most of the time, but Drashed has lost 2 fish just because he's been dumb. But yeah, you need 10 fish. Usually you get really unlucky here, and you'll get like 10 redfish in a row. Just always seems to happen. But he would be at 9 out of 10 right now.
Stop talking. Yeah, you'd think you'd get more of the fish you want, considering there's 3 colors, but I swear there's like, for every 1 fish you want, there's like 10 reds in that water.
Yeah. It really sucks to get 40 minutes into a run and then just lose it all to this challenge. But that wasn't too bad, honestly. It could have been much worse.
There's one interesting thing you can do after the challenge. Normally you get teleported to the NPC, but if you stand in front of him and turn and look at him, you'll kind of... I don't know exactly what happens, but I think the talk trigger comes up before the teleport does. So if you're already there, you talk to him slightly early. So you can save like half a second or something.
Yeah, and there's a couple places you can do that in both this game and Spyro 3. So it's just a good optimization to save a few seconds throughout a run. And so throughout this level, you kind of have to go through it casually and wait for these guys to open the doors, just because there's no skip to get past them. And so now he is at the end of the level, but he's gonna finish this puzzle instead of going to the talisman. And as he's finishing this puzzle, there's a few seconds of movement you can have before you get teleported to the end. So he uses that to hit the 2 vases with the green gems. And so now he's back at the start of the level. But what he can do here is what we call a proxy, which is basically just getting your hitbox stuck where it shouldn't be, so the game shoots you out. That's one of the easier proxies in the game, so it's pretty nice to have in 100%. 100%, most of the routes don't actually use proxies. They're more useful for any percent categories, but that's one of them that we can easily do, and it works out really well for the route.
Yeah, I think there's only one more I'll actually be going for.
Yeah, I think so.
Breeze. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yep, so he just finished the Hero Girls challenge. He was collecting 8 enemies throughout the level to open the supercharge power-up, but it's not too hard to get them. There's not like a route or anything really. You can kind of just get them as you go through the level without losing any time. And so what he did there is he used the supercharge power-up to turn into a rock and get shot up into the air. And he just used that to save a couple seconds just on movement. His supercharge is clearly faster than regular charging. So that wasn't too bad of an idol. It could have been much worse. Fish can last for like a minute and a half sometimes. Lose you so much time.
Yeah, I think like this doesn't really mean much, but I think on a segment timer you usually leave around 2 minutes. That's what you class as being good, but I've seen people leave as low as like 140 before, and I've also seen people leave at like 3 minutes. So
yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, nice over. So yeah, even though we've got through 2 of the worst levels, we still have another pretty lame level next.
Yeah. Summer Forest has a lot of hard levels, even though it's the first homeworld.
It's pretty common for everything about this game, regardless of the category you play.
Yeah.
Apart from any percent, I guess. 90% is pretty simple.
Yeah, Glimmer is one of the hardest levels in the run. It's the first level, so... But since we play it so much, most people are pretty consistent at it now. But it does have a lot of difficult tech. So right here, he's just swimming through this tunnel, collecting a few of the gems he didn't get at the start of the game. And right here, since he's at the very start of Summer Forest, he's gonna charge into this wall right here to try and get pushed out and get swim in air. And you saw this going into Ripto, but this is a bit of a different method to get it. There's a lot of different methods to get swim in air, actually. And they're all pretty useful for this game. In pretty much every category, actually. Yeah. He's gonna use the... He's gonna talk to Allura to open up Ocean Speedway. I think he needs like 3 orbs, and he's got plenty of those. So he can go straight into Ocean Speedway. And right at the start of the level, he's gonna hold specific inputs to be able to hit one of the boats early. And something interesting about the cycles of these speedways is that there's a different cycle for entering the level and trying again if you like crash or something. So that's one of those interesting ones where you can only hit it as you're entering the level, which works out pretty well for us because hopefully we won't have to retry this speedway at all.
Yeah, that's true for all the speedways, and some of them are actually slower from the first cycle. I think Canyon is faster from a restart, but it's not fast enough to justify hitting a restart.
Yeah, obviously. But for like ILs, like of speedways, people are gonna have to leave the level and re-enter to go for the fastest time.
I guess now. All right.
So for this rings challenge, usually you'd have to follow Hunter through all these rings, but Drashed is gonna try and get a few of them early so he can skip some of the unnecessary movement that Hunter does and speed it up a little bit.
Yeah, he takes a really bad path. And we have to follow him on the path mainly, but like Walker said, we can pick some up extra early, so yeah.
Yeah, so right here he's gonna diverge from the path. Oh no.
Oh, terrible.
That's not too big of a deal. You can miss that
I'm
one pretty easily. Yeah, so you can kind of diverge from the path and pick up rings before Hunter even gets near him, as long as you get to him before Hunter goes through any other rings, obviously. So right here, Hunter's gonna go around to like another circle, but you can just get these last few pretty quickly.
Yeah, God knows where Hunter's gone. Wasn't too bad, I
looking
guess.
good.
Yeah. Now for another fun level. I actually like this level until you get to the end. Then it's not fun.
Yeah. This level's got a lot of like just standard platforming, which is pretty fun, but the end of the level has another challenge. Typically the challenges like ruin levels for this game, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't know, it's still worth it. I think a lot of them are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the worst thing about the challenge in this is it either goes right or it goes completely wrong. There's no in between. And
yeah. It's not
one
too
mistake.
bad.
It's
most
usually
of the
a
time.
chain reaction of things though.
Yeah. Just as long as it goes well, it goes really well. But just if one thing goes wrong, it's usually pretty bad. But you can recover sometimes if it's just a slight error. So right here, it's just like standard platforming. You can use a few skips to get up to this area early with the double jump, and then he's gonna double jump and flop onto the scenery right here to get to this. I don't even know what he is. Electro. Yeah, but he basically gets the first orb for that challenge. It's a string of 2 challenges, Factory Glide 1 and Factory Glide 2. And so he gets the first one, and then he out of bounds straight to the second one. And a lot of the platforms in this level are dependent on cycles, but if you finish them early, like he did, all the platforms are just going to be stood still, and you can easily jump onto them.
Yeah, there was another instance there of trying to flame charge through a wall to break something on the other side like we did in Colossus. But that one you kind of have to do as you fall down, so it's a little bit harder. But I managed to get that one.
It's right here, he's just clearing out a few of the random gems that are placed along the top here. There would be a bit of extra movement if he did miss that snipe, but it saves a bit of time that he got those gems early through the wall. And so now he's at the middle of the level, which is close to where the last challenge is. So he's just gonna clear out these gems and then run straight to the last challenge.
Yeah, we end here because it's practically a dead end on the level.
Yeah. So this challenge involves putting these lightning stones or lightning orbs into these sockets, and as you do this, thieves are going to spawn. And once you pass a certain point, thieves are determined to spawn. And if you do this specific section fast enough, you can get a few like double hits on some of them, and hopefully it'll work out.
I think on the other way.
Yeah, okay. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just a bit slow.
Yeah. That's the more, like, problem section. Sometimes one of the thieves in that first area, the first 4, don't spawn. Or don't spawn immediately. So it kind of messes up the route. But luckily he got all 4 that he needed right there. That was weird, that lightning orb just kind of didn't want to go in.
Yeah.
So each one of these like sockets has 1 or 2 specific thieves tied to it. So for this last one, he puts, since he hasn't put in the lightning orb at all into the socket, 2 are gonna spawn immediately, and he just sits in the spot and fireballs them straight away.
Yeah.
So yeah, that wasn't too bad. It could have gone much, much worse.
Yeah, that was a decent level.
Up next is one of the more tame Summer Forest levels. The challenges aren't too bad, even though I tend to fail them sometimes for no reason.
Wow,
But...
I've never done that. Yeah, this
Yeah.
level's interesting. It's really simple and really short, but some of the movements kind of difficult, and it's swimming, so it instantly sucks, but it's not too bad.
Luckily, the swimming controls in this are better than the reignited ones, so you can maneuver a bit better.
I don't know if I got all of them. I did.
Something interesting to note here is that fireballs, while underwater, have a different animation. They turn like white and blue, and they have like a little spiral property to them. But another property to them is that if you get up close to a wall, they can go through walls while you're underwater. So you can utilize that here at the end of the level. What? I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Never seen that
know.
turtle not make it to the button. That's weird.
Yeah, that was
But basically, he's gonna work his way through the level as usual. Something interesting again here is that normally when you go through this level originally, you wouldn't have climb because you get climb in the second homeworld, but since we beat Ripto early, we have climb, and so we don't have to have any problems with going up the ladders.
Yeah. You're also supposed to use a fireball from power up in this level, so you have to enemy route, and kind of go back to the start, but since we have the fireball, we can just do everything as we go.
Yeah. It saves a lot of time here.
Yeah, makes it one of the shorter levels.
Yeah, no backtracking allowed.
I don't want to talk to you.
Hello.
So right here, he's gonna go up to the turtle soup guy to start the challenge, but he left one of the turtle boxes unbroken. And so he's gonna break that later through the wall. But right now he's gotta clear out 2 challenges worth of turtles. And this is mostly auto-scroller, but if you stop paying attention, you will fail, so...
Yeah, you'd know that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, the turtles always come out of the same place, so
Yeah.
you kind of just know the time.
An interesting thing about this challenge, though, is if you fireball a turtle and he doesn't go into the water, he'll have a lot of weird stuff happen. Wow, you're really trying to flex with fireballs now, aren't you?
I regret everything.
Did you? No, you didn't.
Come on. There you go.
Yeah, so if you fireball a turtle, they can
Oh.
have some weird properties where, like, if you charge him straight on, he'll, like, charge himself backwards. It's weird. We're not really sure what causes it, but usually people just don't
It's
fireball the
terrible.
turtles.
This is why. This is terrible. I'm gonna lose time to this. Go in.
Stop
Okay, I don't
fireballing
think I lost
turtles.
much because normally you they have to climb up the pipe, so there's like a delay. So I actually don't think I lost anything.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Maybe very
It's just
marginal, like
was
less than a
sketch.
second.
Yeah, so right here, he's gonna push himself up against the wall and shoot a fireball downwards to hit the last turtle box through the wall. Just some...
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool strat, and you'll see it again in the next level too.
It happens because the fireball spawns a little bit further forward than like the normal fireball does. So if you push up against the wall, it just spawns on the other side. And we used it heading towards Sunny Beach to hit a button. Not Sunny Beach, Ocean Speedway. So we could hit a button through the wall, so we could open a door. You can just swim through the window, but going through
Saves
the
a bit
doors.
of time.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
use it there to break the turtle box. I'm also going to use it in this next level to, again, shoot another button through the wall.
Yep, so right here is Aquaria, and again, with more swimming controls, it's a bit harder to optimize, especially because Sparks has a larger range in inside water, but since he has a larger range, he's gonna spend more time picking up some gems that are further away, and sometimes he can miss gems. So it's pretty hard to optimize, but luckily Drashed is pretty good.
Don't say that, I'll miss one. I will. Yeah, I
So
don't
right here.
really get this level, I'll be honest.
Yeah, so he used that button to spawn water throughout the level, like you would at the end, because when you get to the end of the level, you hit that last button, and it'll put water throughout the entire level.
Yeah.
But since he hit it early, the water levels are going to be a bit strange, because he hasn't hit any of the other buttons in the level. So you'll see it coming out of this tunnel right here, that he's going to go up and charge straight through another plane of water. So it doesn't really affect us too much, but if you do miss a gem, it can be kind of hard to go back and get other gems because of how the water levels are set up. Also, these sharks can be a bit scary. If you get too close, they'll just like kill you no matter what. They'll like follow you through the ground to hit you. They're just that determined. But
I respect that.
yeah. It's not too bad to avoid them most of the time because we have permanent fireball.
Yeah, once they do start going for you though, you can't stop them. You can't even fireball them or anything.
Our world.
Okay, I didn't miss any gems.
Yep, that's good. This upper section is a lot easier to get all the gems in, because we can get a lot of the gems during the Manta Ray challenge, but it's still a little bit hard to pick up all the gems here. And so right here, he's just hugging up against this wall and charging, or this floor, I should say, and charging, and it'll push him outwards to the out-of-bounds area, so he can go straight to the last tower that has the seahorses to end the challenge that he didn't even start.
Yeah, he doesn't care about 5 of his children, just the last one.
Yeah.
I've been trying. Great. Hop on his back and guide him through each of the rings of
So yeah,
bubbles as
this
it
challenge is a bit of an auto-scroller again, but
brand new, so try
we
not
can
to
leave a lot of the gems in the level to
Wow.
pick them up now.
I'm
I've
bad.
never seen the 25 fall there. That was weird.
I'm really bad.
Good luck this time.
Yeah, so mostly an auto-scroller, but since we're getting the gems, it can be kind of a little bit more difficult.
I found
But-
in this challenge that if you stay lower, most of the time, he kind of rubber bands slightly forwards. I don't know why, it's only from testing, but it doesn't even save much, it saves like
Well done.
frames, but I
Yeah.
tried, and I lost out for it.
Now to them. Okay. Good luck.
So during this second part of the challenge, she's just gonna pick up the rest of the gems and go through his rings as he's picking them up, obviously. Just pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, this section's really boring.
Yeah, not really a whole lot. There's one interesting thing at the end of this this Manta Ray challenge, where he'll skip a ring to go pick up these last 3 gems and then go back to the rings.
I'm so bad.
Did you miss one of them?
think so.
Oh yeah. It's not too. That's one of the least bad gems to miss, so it's fine.
Yeah, a lot of the gems in this level are really bad to miss, and generally the quickest way of getting to them is to out of bounds. And the out of bounds itself takes like 15-20 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Still isn't bad at all, this run overall, so...
It's a sub an hour.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I want to know.
Are they
I'll be impressed if
RTA
it
or
is.
SDA?
I don't know. RTA, I think.
However they're timing it, it was sub 1 Aquaria, so that's good.
Oh, so it wasn't sub 1 Summer Forest.
No. I think this is RTA, and I think this would be sub 1 Summer Forest SDA, if that's the case. So not bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
better than the last run I did.
So that's Summer Forest completely. We don't have to go back there at all. So we're going to be finishing up in Autumn Plains. So this is the first level, Skelos. And we're going to be going straight to the end of the level.
I should have practiced this game, just saying. I can't do it. This isn't hard.
You can do it, come on.
I can't. What the hell? I give up. You win game. I always do that first try in like every run ever, so I don't know what happened.
He was trying to do a wall glide there, but just gonna go for the easier strat.
Yeah,
So-
that's all.
Wall glide saves very little, but it's usually not too hard. It can just be a bit difficult sometimes. So during this level, he's got to finish the bone challenge, where you hit 8 of these
So bad.
8 of these guys to pick up the bones.
Stop watching. I'm gonna die in this level, I can tell.
Don't go for the wall glide.
We're doing it.
Okay.
You gotta go fast. Never mind. I didn't even get a
Oh, no.
double jump.
Oh no. Okay, so this is one of the worst levels to die in, unfortunately. But also he
Redeemed myself.
He
I don't
wasn't-
care anymore.
wasn't too far into the level, so it's not too bad.
Give me a glide.
But during this level, there's a lot of damage abuses, which is kind of unfortunate because it's one of the worst levels to die on, like I said, because of the mystery jar. Because when you die, the mystery jar resets, so you have to go through to the end of the level to get all the mystery jar, the individual mystery jars again. So luckily the bones don't reset themselves. He's still at 4.
I want this.
You can do it. Come on.
When did this run become a joke?
It was fine until.
Oh,
So-
2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Alright. Yep. So a lot of this level has damage abuses, like right there. He charged straight downwards onto a bone to pick it up, but he takes damage through it. Luckily in the ER route, most of the time you won't have to worry about damage because you'll be on green sparks the whole time, but sometimes if you take extra hits you can still die or lose your sparks and all that. Yeah. He gets teleported back to the end of the level because he finished the bone challenge. And now
Really
he's
weird
gonna-
camera.
Yeah, that was weird.
I've never gone that camera before. It threw me off.
So now he's at the tally, and now he just needs to clean up a few gems at the start of the level, and then do the Dinos challenge, which everyone loves.
You're making this look really difficult. I don't even know the pattern. What am I doing?
Now, what are you doing?
I don't know. I think they changed the pattern in SRT as well.
Oh, did they? That's
So I
interesting.
heard. I haven't actually done it.
Yeah, I haven't played SRT personally, so I wouldn't know.
Well done, Greg. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so these eggs aren't RNG at all. They're just set patterns, set timings to hatch, so it's not too bad. Especially with Fireball, you can just kind of shoot them early and clear them out pretty easily. You can do a little bit of optimization here by Fireball in the
Thanks for
7th, and then
helping.
turning straight to the 8th to shoot both of them, like
Mhm.
right as they hatch. But there's not really much you can do to speed that challenge up.
Yeah, killing dinosaurs early doesn't make the other eggs hatch quicker, so
Yeah.
that was like a 5-minute skewerless. Laura.
Well,
Nice.
I had to go for a strat that didn't work. You can kind of charge as you talk to people. You can kind of get launched forward and still talk to them, and you can do that to hit the whirlwind while talking to her, but I just didn't
Yeah.
talk to her, so yeah.
There's a few other places where that strat is useful, so hopefully we'll see it there. Mainly I'm thinking Breeze is one of them, but...
I do something different in Breeze though.
Oh,
usually.
okay. It's just another speedway. The route is pretty standard. It's been standard for a long time, but... yeah. There's not really much you can do to optimize this. It's just kind of charging as much as you can, and then shooting these guys. You can do a bit of a strat here where you charge onto the higher part to get a little bit of a supercharged speed boost. But yeah, that was a good speedway, actually.
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things you can actually do in Metro, like jumping around on the scenery. It's
Yeah.
more noticeable than the challenge here.
Yeah. I actually really like this challenge. It used to be like a big auto scroller, but you can do a lot of like small optimizations to try and speed it up.
Yeah, and they all save like nothing.
Yeah,
Like nothing,
it's
I
still
mean
cool.
tenths of seconds, but
It's still cool though. I like it a lot.
yeah.
So as he's picking these up, he's just kind of flying normally, but there's gonna be a few more strats he does here, like that one right there. Instead of following Hunter right at the end here, he'll charge just on the bridge to get this right as it pops out. Save a few seconds, or probably less than seconds, but yeah. Coming up is probably my least favorite level in the game, just because I'm bad at it, but Drashed is usually okay at it, so he'll probably give a better performance.
I actually like this level. I don't think anyone else has ever said. I mean, it's kind of fun.
I'm not a fan, but it's mainly because of one challenge. We'll get to that, but I like most of the level except for the challenge. The challenge just completely ruins it for me.
You like about 3 minutes of the level.
Yeah. So immediately he's gonna out of bounds, not even pick up any gems, just gonna straight to the middle of the level. Because there's another mystery jar in this level, so he has to go to the start again. So he's just gonna leave all the gems at the start for later, save time. And so right here, you'd usually use the cannons to break down these wooden doors, but with Fireball you can just break them immediately, so you can just glide straight into the tally room as you break the door, which saves a bit because you can just talk to the end of level guy immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, using cannons in this game is awful, so I'm glad we don't have to use any.
Yeah. So right here, he's gonna charge jump and like stutter a little bit to try and hover directly under an invisible wall to jump onto a slight ledge that's under the invisible wall. It's a bit complicated, but it's not too bad once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, it's really weird. If you don't understand what you're doing, it's practically impossible. But once you do, it's really easy.
Yeah. Luckily, most of this game isn't like SRT where there's invisible walls everywhere, but this is one of the few levels that does have a lot of invisible walls. But that's one of the places where you can abuse getting under it and onto the scenery. So right here is everyone's least favorite challenge except Drashed.
That's good.
That's the Calyx challenge, and basically you have to escort these 7 Calyx into the pen. And basically with Fireball, you can move them faster, but also the fireballs have splash damage, so if you hit a wall or something that a Calyx is near, then they'll go in crazy directions and it'd be hard to deal with them.
Yeah, this is a bit slow. But...
Yeah.
Normally
These
I'd
are
be a
really
bit more
hard.
daring there. Like, so in that upper area, you can kind of hit them if they're right at the back and they'll land basically where you want them to land. But if they go slightly too far forwards, then you can just knock them straight off the edge.
Yeah.
And
You don't
knocking
want
off
to
the
go.
edge is terrible.
Yeah, you don't want them to go down that pit. Yeah. These Calyx are kind of hard to deal with Fireball. You can move them faster. It's just like hard to deal with their AI because they basically how they work is if you're behind them, they'll move forward. If you're in front of them, they'll move backward. So you kind of have to stay in a specific position behind them to be able to deal with them more easily. So he's gonna leave 1 outside the pen because this challenge is separated into 2 orbs, the first 5 and the last 2. So if he's able to get the last 2 in as he's getting in one of the first 5, he can get both orbs at once, which is a nice way to save time.
It won't happen.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to do, but
Wow.
hopefully we'll see.
Oh, that was
What
rude.
the? I've never seen, never had that. But yeah, since he just fell down there and the Calyx was right at the edge, since he was in front of the Calyx, he decided to walk backwards back into this area. That's just kind of the AI that you have to deal with a lot. It's just not fun for most people. It's fun for Drashed, apparently.
I got it. No, I didn't.
Oh, you almost did. Wait, did
What
you?
happened? No,
One's
no.
outside the pen, but you still got it?
No, he
Wait,
didn't.
oh, what?
That was so weird. I got the
That is weird.
flash, like I got 7 in. Did one jump out? I don't know.
I don't know. That is so weird.
That there's another instance where you can stand in front of the NPC that you're about to teleport to and save a little bit. Yeah, weird things stop happening.
Yep, so now the rest of the level is just clearing out the mystery jar. And the first set of gems that he left at the start because of the mystery jar.
Hello. What? Just happened? I'm so confused.
What is going on? Oh my god, he went flying.
I felt like I blocked him, but I obviously didn't.
Strange things are happening right now. Because it's a marathon, it's just gotta happen.
I may have missed a red gem.
I think you're okay. So right here, he's at the last mystery jar. He's just gonna shoot it, collect these few gems over here, and pick up the last few from the mystery jar. So that's Zephyr. Pretty difficult level, mainly because of Calyx.
I really dislike this next level.
I like it.
Silly
Right.
jump tricks, and then a minute and a half auto scroller at the end.
Yeah, I don't like the auto scroller, but I kind of like the tricks in this level, even if I'm kind of bad at them. So right at the start, he's going to be doing a double jump across this pit instead of freeing some of these NPCs to like catapult him across. But basically, you can skip all the NPC stuff just by abusing the double jump here. Right here, he's going to be doing a wall glide where he glides along the wall and gains height. And then he's going to be clearing out this middle area. And as he's going through this level, he needs to kill 15 enemies to unlock the power-up for the challenge. In some of these levels, we don't need the power-up to be able to complete the challenge because we have Fireball, but some of them you need the power-up to be able to start the challenge. So sometimes you have to get enemies even if you don't use it. But since in this level we're getting the enemies, it's more useful to get the power-up, obviously.
I just had 14 tally on autopilot. I don't even run that.
strange.
Play this safe.
Yeah, there's a few other strats you can do to get into this tally room, but they're pretty difficult.
Managed to over enemy.
Interesting.
Yeah, like Walker said, you can actually do this challenge without getting 15 enemies. You can kill every droplet, but the NPC just doesn't give you the ult.
Yeah. But since we have to get the enemies, it's faster to get the power up anyway, because you can fly over this pit.
Yeah, you kind of have to double back on yourself if you don't have the power up.
UFC.
Ah. I think that's
It's right
something
here.
we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with Superfly in this game, you can kind of abuse double jump in a similar way. You can use it just on the ground. Basically, if you either flap by pressing X or holding down, you can get a double jump just by using normal double jump inputs out of a Superfly, which is pretty useful in a few places. Like you can use it here, you can use it in Magma Cone, but basically you can get more height out of that than a double jump because you can go up to the skybox with the Superfly and then do a double jump. I don't believe Drashed is reading chat, but
No.
I am. I'm seeing all this in the chat.
Hmm.
Nothing
I'm
special.
just not looking.
Nothing special. Yeah, this is another auto-scroller. The end of it is kind of not an auto-scroller, but it still is. You have to lead him back to the orb guy. But if you get too far away from George the Snow Leopard, then you'll have him get stuck, and then you have to go back and save him.
Yeah, I want to point something out here that I want everyone to watch Sparks as I leave Crystal. It's something I see every single time I do it, like leave the level, and no one ever seems to notice. So,
I've noticed it before, but
like, Sparks is
it
just
doesn't seem to cause any problems. It's just kind of strange. He just seems to like come out of nowhere and like nosedive straight into that red gem by the portal. But it doesn't cause him to be like behind for picking up these other gems, so it's kind of strange.
Yeah, it's really weird. This next level is actually really difficult as well.
Yeah.
Walker's notorious for, should we say, messing this level up.
It's a positive stream, okay?
I'm not going to say it, but... Ah.
Yep, so this level is based around the gears on this track. Normally you'd have to do the trolley challenge to pick up these gears, but with double jump you can just jump up straight to the track and pick them up as Spyro. And so while he's on this track, he's also going to be completing the mines challenge, or I like to call them silver guys, but basically you can pick up some of these gears and then jump down, complete the mines challenge, and then jump back up and pick up the rest of the gears to finish the challenge. It's a pretty interesting route. I like it a lot. But yeah, in case anyone doesn't know, Drashed has done a lot of work for the routing of this game and the current state of it, which is the early Ripto route. So shoutouts to him.
Yeah, shoutouts to him.
So now that he's got the mines challenge, he's gonna clear out these gems and then jump straight back onto the track to finish up the trolley challenge without using the trolley.
I won't get this.
So this is another proxy you can go for, which is basically to get up to the track. You don't need too much height, and it's a pretty easy proxy, but it's also not a big deal if you miss it. It's just a little bit of a time save, and it looks cool.
Yeah, I have a really bad habit of missing it, and I wanted to get it, so...
Sometimes the enemy near the clam can can kill it, and...
Break the clam.
and, it can cause you not be able to go for it, but there's a really easy backup. So, because he got all the gears, he has to get back into the trolley room and talk to the guy that gives you the orb. So he just did that whole challenge without the trolley, which is good because a lot of people don't like that challenge for a very specific reason that I'm not going to point out.
Let's just say they have trouble.
Shut up.
No, I'm gonna go for this, even though I shouldn't. Okay.
So this is a kind of difficult trick called massless, which involves a spin hover, where you basically angle yourself a little bit to the left and then hold right as you hover to kind of spin yourself as you hover. It's really complicated and not easy, but he just made it look pretty easy there.
Yeah, some people will say it's free. Those people are wrong.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
The amount of runs that I've killed to that is got me to the point where I just don't go for it.
Yeah, it saves like 2 seconds at the most, but
Yeah.
it's not easy. So yeah, that's Breeze, and that wasn't bad at all. He didn't pull a Walkers12 on that level.
I hope this level goes really well.
Yeah. I like this upcoming level a lot, personally. But if you do mess up, it can lose a lot of time.
Yeah, I do a lot of really unique things which nobody else does. And
Yeah.
if they all work well, the level looks really, really good.
I'm not even sure what you're talking about, the unique things, so...
Yeah, I do a lot of weird things. You'll probably realize.
Yeah. So right at the start, he's just gonna out of bounds straight to the end of the level, like similar to a lot of levels, because this level, it doesn't have a mystery jar, but it has a challenge that involves going back to the start of the level, basically. So he's just gonna go to the end of the level first and start up that challenge, and then clear out the rest as it goes. So right here, he needs to hit the button to break down the door and hit down Bombo, but he's having a bit of trouble breaking that button.
Shut up. Breaking the button.
I don't know why I keep saying breaking. I guess my head's broken, but yeah. So this is Bombo. A lot of people don't like this challenge either because he can kind of just shoot these unpredictably and then screw you over. But most of the time it's not too bad, especially with this route. But yeah. So in that ending section of Bombo, you can kind of circle around up here where Handle is and have him be a bit delayed on finishing that little section of the challenge. So you have a bit of time to go pick up a few gems. So we use that a little bit to get a few out of the way gems.
Yeah, you can even get another 5 gem down there if you can quickly charge jump and glide before the Bomber cutscene starts playing, which I'm gonna have to get later instead.
So this is the Monkeys challenge, just another auto scroller that I've managed to fail today even, so that's fun. Yeah, it's not a problem at all though, especially with Fireball. You can shoot these trees from super far away, so
Have a bit of free time to pick up some of the gems in this as well.
yeah. There's not
Everything
many
to
you
the-
can pick up though.
Yeah.
This is just mainly auto scroller where you wait for Hunter to walk to all these trees.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, the camera is a bit weird in that challenge. Especially, some of the challenges in this game, the camera acts a bit weird. Especially the Alchemist challenge is the main one I think of when I think of weird cameras.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that next level. That one's also an interesting one in this category. But here's Bombo 2, and during this part of the challenge, we're gonna go over to these gems on the side, pick them up now. So you might notice that this whole section is cleared out completely. But the next part of Bombo, you need to go through that section, so you'll see how we deal with that after he finishes this section. Did you notice you missed a 2, by the way?
Did I? Well,
Right next to that part where you're out of bounds, going to Bombo 1. It's not far out of the way. It's close to handle, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Toys for Bombo, yeah.
Yeah.
So during Bombo 1, you might notice we never open the first door, so we just go straight through it. And instead of going through that door, we're gonna go to this later part of the level. And we're gonna go straight to this middle section and then turn right around. So that basically is a checkpoint for Bombo to make him keep moving through the level. And once you do that, you can just go straight to the end of the level, talk to Greta and get the talisman. And during this talisman cutscene, Bombo usually appears and just says hello. Bumps you back a bit, but yeah.
Great!
Right, where is this gem?
Oh, it's a different gem.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
I think that's the first like missed gem of the run.
It's a
isn't it?
red. I was gonna say that's not all my gems. Oh, it's
What's
this one? Oh.
Weird.
Yeah, those 2 gems that you were mentioning, were they the ones I got right after Bomber 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that glide. Yeah, that's something I added. Which
Oh,
nobody did.
okay. I didn't even know.
Yeah. Okay, this next level is really cool.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite levels, even though I'm bad at it. I just think it's really interesting, especially some of the strats in it.
Yeah, definitely. And before I crash.
Let's hope not.
Happened to Alex in 1545.
Just load a save and finish the rest.
I've never crashed here, so if it happens.
Yeah, I haven't either. It shouldn't happen with the strat you do, but it's still possible, I think, so let's just hope.
Yeah, I play the area safe.
Yeah. So, at the start, he shot a fireball over to the direction where the second satyr is, and then when he shot that, he also shot the first satyr. So he kind of got a double hit. And so basically that skips a text box and also an extra like, cutscene playing, so that helps a lot.
Keep doing a bunch of silly things.
So coming up is one of the more difficult parts of this whole run, I'd say. And it involves having very, very consistent and clean movement for a specific amount of time with a strange camera. So
Great. Just
basically you run around this building and then pick up all the gems in this alchemist area and then go and hit one of the satyrs and pick up more gems and then go to the fawn orb where you are supposed to supercharge through like the whole track to get to, but we can just fireball straight through. So it's a lot getting done during this alchemist challenge, because during the alchemist challenge you're supposed to push the earth shapers out of the alchemist path, but since we can kill all of them with fireball, we have a lot of free time to pick up gems here.
Yeah, I'm not actually gonna be able to go for this strat.
Not the full one.
Because, yeah, I messed something up slightly.
There are a few more gems you can pick up during this, but it involves very specific movement, and if you bonk once or twice, you're pretty much done for.
Yeah, you have about a second of leeway.
as long
You could probably make the whole thing with a bonk, but it'd be very
Yeah, I've done it
hard.
before. But yeah, it's not easy. And backing it up, like, if you can't do the full thing, isn't even that bad. You should lose like 3 seconds, but I'm terrible.
Yeah, an interesting thing right there is Usually, to get the supercharge up to that area, you'd have to go through like a whole ordeal with this path throughout the whole level, but you can jump in a specific way to get it up to that area, which helps a lot.
So if I crash, everything we know about that crash is wrong.
Yeah. Gem count's looking good, we're all good. Yeah. So I really like Fracture because of that alchemist strat, but it is really difficult.
Hmm. Yeah, very few people actually even go for it.
Yeah.
I think you do, right?
Yeah, I go for it.
I think it might just be me and you.
Really?
Yeah. No, Sean and Alex don't.
So Magma Cone has another instance of RNG. It's the last instance of RNG, actually, and it's not usually too bad. It's not nearly as bad as Fish or Gulp. So, hopefully, we don't see bad RNG here, but it's not a big deal, really. Oh, that gem
Yeah,
is
and
weird.
with this RNG, you kind of can't really blame it a lot of the time, because half the time, it's pretty much you just making bad decisions.
Yeah.
Where a lot of your time goes. So.
We'll explain it more when we get there, but...
Well, I'm basically there now.
Yeah, so this challenge involves popcorn being shot out from the ground that you have to pick up. And Hunter will go for random ones that are close to him. So usually what I do is just go for the first one he goes for, and then just find ones that are close by. It is RNG for where they pop up, but usually it's not bad enough to where it's slow. But sometimes Hunter goes like full-on beast mode, and like you have to follow him around to make sure he doesn't beat you. Like,
This is really bad.
yeah, this is kind of unlucky, but
Yeah, sometimes the popcorn just spawns nearer to Hunter and he just keeps getting them. And
yeah,
there's not a whole lot you can do other than just have to start following them around.
yeah, because you don't want
should-
Hunter to beat you.
Yeah, if you lose, it's really bad. He also moves faster on popcorn too, I believe.
Yeah. Something interesting that can happen here is Hunter can get stuck, like just stuck moving, like jogging in place basically, and that'll let you pick up a few popcorn without having him like, do anything, which is pretty nice. But that's kind of rare. Yeah, you're really going beast mode right now against him. I've never seen 15-0 on this challenge, but obviously you could. But I mean, you could get it, but you'd have to follow him around most of the time.
You're really
No, I didn't. I
Oh,
don't even
really?
know why. Yeah. Yeah, he just didn't care.
Yep, so right here, he's just clearing out these gems in this section. But he's gonna go back for the gems that he left behind a little bit, and then he's gonna double jump onto the scenery to avoid going up the ladder. Which I don't think it's faster than going up the ladder. Like, it's the same speed, but it's just so much less.
It's about the same, but I think it is marginally faster. We're talking
Yeah.
less than a second. And
And
the
it's
ladders in this
also-
game suck.
Yeah, ladders are not fun to go up at
Well,
all, so...
They're not bad, but when you have to switch from one ladder to another cleanly, it's kind of difficult.
Yeah, and just
And then
like
having to drop
optimizing
off the
that.
ladder is just
Yeah.
not fun.
It's right here, this Party Poopers Challenge, or Party Crashers, whatever people call them. He's gonna pick up a few of the gems that are on the ground, but he's gonna leave a few for the end. It's just slightly faster to do it that way. And also, at the end of this challenge, once he's hit the 12th one, he's gonna do another Superfly jump on top of the volcano to finish the level as he's getting the orb, which lets him not have to skip the orb cutscene and all that, and he'll get the tally at the same time. Saves a little bit of time.
Wow.
So now that he's got the tally, he's just gonna pick up the last few gems, and he'll be done with the level. Then there's only 2 more levels left in the whole game.
Yeah, and one of them's a speedway, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
count.
1 more real level.
Hmm.
I really like the last few levels of this game, but if you're on a really good run, they can be really stressful. So, kind of unfortunate.
Hmm. So this level is another level where you need to kill enemies as you go through. So we're going to need 18, and there's only, I think, 21 enemies in the level, so you need to kill most of them.
Yeah, this is one of the more stressful enemy routes, along with Robotica. This is one of the more difficult ones. But as you're going through this level, killing all the enemies and picking up gems, you also have to pretty much go as fast as possible to keep Shorty moving at a decent pace. So this is one of the more difficult levels to optimize, I'd say, just because you have to keep him moving. Because if you're too slow behind him, then he'll start moving extra slow, which is kind of weird.
You'll probably see at some point just then, or
Yeah.
now, I don't know. And Shotty just ran really fast. And depending on your movement, which mine is terrible right now, you can have him go much faster. I'm also Sparkless, this is great. Why is it always shady where you get Sparkless?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's one of the worst levels to be Sparkless in, I'd say. So
It is.
it just always seems to happen here for whatever reason. I think my PB gets Sparkless here, and I lost a lot of time because of that, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because of the early Ripto Sparks range, which is so huge in this game. When you're Sparkless, you really notice how slow you're going, and it's really bad. But
Thanks for helping.
usually you can deal with it, and most of the time you can keep Sparks pretty easily. It's kind of hard to get hit in this game a lot of the time, but this is one of the levels where it just seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, it's just because you're trying to kill enemies
Yeah.
in close quarters and trying to be fast. And you don't really want to kill more enemies than you actually need, so yeah, you just kind of try and play too aggressive, I guess.
Luckily there's a life bottle right near that mystery jar, so you can get Sparks back completely, but it does take a little bit to get to. Oh no.
Almost. Follow me.
I don't want to talk about it.
Triangle to head bash.
Something interesting about this challenge is that even though you can use Fireball to hit the rocks, if you head bash one of the hippos, they'll just come out of the thing so much quicker than they would if you Fireball them. A bit strange, but it's a nice time save.
Yeah, we found that from a casual stream. Somebody playing the game the intended way. I'm like, hey, that's fast. Interesting. Oh wow. Can this go like any worse?
Yeah, I think Shady is a pretty difficult level. Like overall, even after this shorty section, it's still difficult to get everything like perfectly.
Yeah.
Yep, so now he's at 63 orbs, and he's just got to clear out the rest of the gems in the level, and then he's got to go to Icy Speedway, and that's it. Since we beat Ripto early, we're not actually gonna end on the final boss. We're gonna end on Icy Speedway. So we're gonna finish up the rest of the Autumn Plains homeworld, and then go straight into Icy Speedway to finish it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So he's got all the gems except for the 400 in Icy Speedway, and he's got 63 orbs. So he's just missing the one orb from the challenge. So once he gets the orb from the challenge, that's time. So he's going to be
Wow.
just going through. I think this one the more difficult speedways in the run. I'd probably say it's the most difficult personally, but Ocean's pretty hard too.
I think Ocean's harder,
Yeah, but
the start of this speedway is quite hard.
yeah, the start is really difficult because the parachuters, paragliders, whatever they're called, they're a little bit hard to hit because the hitboxes are a bit strange, and also the snowmobile guys move really fast, so it's hard to get them all. But luckily it went alright. The route is pretty confusing for this as well, but it's one of the faster routes. There's some ridiculous stuff you can do with Fireball in some of these speedways, but they're not really RTA viable. So yeah, that's all the gems in the level, because
Good job.
speedways are 400 gems just by hitting all the guys.
Don't miss any, or
But
you have to start over.
basically, we end on this auto-scroller rings challenge, which is a pretty chill way to end, honestly, but a bit anticlimactic as well.
Yeah, it's quite funny though, because there's an ongoing joke of don't mess up rings. When
Yeah.
anyone's on the base run, it happens,
Yeah.
people do it.
Yeah, some people have.
Yeah, and if you fail right at the end, it loses like a minute, so...
Yeah, that would really suck. But luckily, it's pretty much auto-scroller. Like, all the rings are going to be in the same place, and they're pretty lenient to hit. So yeah, right when he skips the orb cutscene, that's time.
Way to
And this is not a bad run at all, honestly.
I mean, there was a lot of silly mistakes, like really bad mistakes. I died in Colossus, I died in Skilos. But
But yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
it'd have been a 140, 131. With whatever timing we were using.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Spyro 2 100%. Could have been worse.
I think that's still a top 10 time, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Not bad, not bad.
But yeah. Next is 120, so good luck to Chris and Sabu.
Yep.